Hello, everyone. My guest today is Rob Nelson. He's the founder and CEO of Grow.com, a cloud-based analytics software company for small to medium-sized businesses. Grow helps companies accelerate their growth by accessing all their data and measuring their business results in real time. He's an entrepreneur at heart and a technology enthusiast. His previous company, Logica, was acquired by AFS in 2012. Rob, are you ready to take us to the top?
Yeah, let's do it.
I love it. A CEO on the road. That means he's hustling. He's driving to close his next deal. Thanks for joining us, man.
That's right. You bet, man.
All right. So we had you on back in November of 2016, and you were very gracious and being very transparent. At that point, you had about 70 employees. You'd raised $13 million in funding, about 600 customers, doing somewhere around 330 grand in monthly recurring revenue. I want to get an update on those numbers. But first, for newbies to the show, tell them what you do and how you make money. What's your business model?
Yeah, so we focus on simple business intelligence built for the small to medium-sized business market. We define SMB market as 1 to 50 million in revenue. So think an easy way to connect all of your data to all the different applications that you use, pull that in and see all of your business metrics in real time.
And to just quantify that in terms of average price point to really hone in the SMB space, are you still around the 500-ish per month range?
Yeah, $500-$600 a month is what we charge. And it's unlimited users, unlimited connections, unlimited updates. So doing some really cool stuff, where you can track your entire business on your phone, TVs around the office, that's a typical use case.
With so many unlimited kind of value-based metrics, what leverage do you keep yourself to drive upsell and expansion revenue?
The upsell and expansion comes from the number of metrics that a customer is tracking. So at $500 or $600, I think our standard is 50 metrics, 50 reports that they can track. On average, customers are tracking about 80. And so pricing kind of scales up from there. Okay.
And do you scale also by seats or unlimited seats, no matter which plan?
Unlimited seats. Yeah. No matter what plan. So
Rob, you're a nice guy.
It's in an effort to, democratize the data, get it out there. And our whole philosophy is like, hey, we don't care if you're in finance, sales, ops, connect to the apps that you use, pull that data back, get some real-time insights and share them with the team.
Yep. And now what are you at today in terms of total customers?
We've got about 1,300.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you more than doubled over the past 13 months. That's impressive.
We've more than doubled in the last 12 months.
Yeah, no, that's really impressive. And if we multiply by that 550 million, that puts you somewhere around 700 grand a month in revenue, or about, call it 8.4-ish million in ARR, right?
Yeah, a little bit higher than that.
Okay.
Average deal size for us ends up being about 8,100 a year. Okay. In ACV, annual contract value.
Yep. No, that's great, which comes out to about 675 a month and would put your MRR somewhere closer to 877 grand instead of the 715. So yeah, that's great. Have you broken 10 million in ARR?
We're just about to.
That's a good way to start the new year. That's good stuff. What's driven most of the growth? I mean, did you ramp up paid spend? What's driven it?
We have ramped up paid spend. But we've got, some healthy unit economics. We've got, around 40 on the sales team, 35 to 40 on the sales team. We're doing a lot of paid spend. I'd say we've got about a 60-40 split between paid versus organic, trying to get that down to a 50-50 this year.
Okay. What's significant there, by the way? Like in a given month, how much will you spend on paid?
We spend about 120 on paid.
Yep. And is there a particular channel performing really well that's not a mainstream kind of AdWords one?
Facebook has always done really well for us. It doesn't perform as well as like Google, but it's a lot less expensive. But still, the bulk of what we do comes from Facebook.
Do you do any conferences, sponsorships, or no?
We do. Oh yeah. We're sponsoring SaaStr next month, and we did SaaStock and several others this year. Yeah, we have good success off of conferences.
Okay. And then in terms of fundraising, have you raised additional capital, or are you still right around 13 million?
No, we're just wrapping up the Series B, and we're coming out and doing a whole press release with that in about 2 to 3 weeks.
Oh, good. This episode actually will not go live. In fact, everyone hearing it right now, it will be June. Are you comfortable sharing what that amount is if I promise you no one will hear it until then?
I need to keep that. I need to keep that one under wraps until we launch.
That's okay, not a problem.
Yeah.
People can check that when they hear this, they can just go Google it and figure it out. But good stuff. What about economics in terms of churn? What's your logo churn at currently monthly?
We're about 2%. I think healthy SMB churn. So that's what we've been targeting, and of course we're trying to get that down a little bit lower, but that's where we're at.
Okay, and as you're ramping up, the fundraise. I mean, a lot of times people ramp up fundraising when they have dialed in economics where they know they can plow money into a channel and generally not see diminishing returns. What are you spending right now to acquire customers, and how quickly do you like to get your money back in terms of payback period?
We've got a payback period of about 6 to 7 months.
Okay, that's pretty good.
And so that's why when I say we've got healthy unit economics, I'm thinking about that CAC payback period.
Yeah, so it's 7 months, and your ACV average is 8,100. I mean, you're spending about $4,000 ish to acquire those guys in that's a worst case scenario. Yeah.
Yep.
And then you touched on your team briefly earlier, but you said 40, I think, salespeople. What's the total team size today, and where are you guys all based?
Yeah, we're all. Let's see. I guess we're not all based here in Utah, in our Silicon Slopes area that we call it. We've got about just over 100 people, and this past year we opened an office in London, and so we have maybe 8 people in London, and they're cranking and exceeding targets and doing well. So that's kind of the team dynamic. Maybe 40 between sales and marketing, probably 30 between product and engineering.
Okay. And why, you mentioned you're obviously just closing a round. Did you create additional competition in terms of, did you have people say, wait, don't raise, let us buy you before you get way more expensive? And if so, how do you make a decision between whether to exit or raise capital and keep going?
Yeah, I mean, we never really ran into that. I think that the market, our space will go through a consolidation, but we're not there yet. And so we didn't have potential buyers. And if we did, I mean, we're really not that interested. I mean, we want to build something significant, something special. We feel like we can own and dominate this SMB space in BI. What we're looking to do is become the HubSpot of BI, and really own and dominate that area.
How do you beat, a company like Klipfolio or some of the others that you know well in the space?
I think one of the things that sets us apart from Klipfolio is, BI is complex, especially I think for SMBs without IT departments, without a lot of technical resources. And so we have a whole onboarding team, a whole client success team that's been, I think, key to who we are and the support and success our clients have. So, we've got data consultants, a whole team of data consultants to help stand clients up, to help them be successful and really get the insights that they're going for.
Well, it's been fun chatting with both you and Alan as you both grow, because you're pretty neck and neck. He's obviously raised a little more, but you guys are about equal in terms of revenue and customer bases. So it'll be fun to watch that as that goes. I mean, are you seeing though, is there anything when your salespeople are on calls and they're saying, well, I'm thinking about Klipfolio and Grow, is there a single thing that's winning you these deals, like a feature, or is it just great onboarding and stickiness and customer support?
Yeah, it is. I think, in that kind of scenario, or Power BI, I mean, a lot of these where it's totally self-serve, it's like, hey, go try it out, test it out and run a scenario and test Grow at the same time and just do a side-by-side comparison.
Yep.
I think being open and transparent is kind of our best approach in that way, in that regard.
You do a great job. I'm looking at your executive view on the page right now in terms of presenting the data, but people can get lost in this. Have you moved the stage further yet in terms of building machine learning and AI to actually make recommendations on what people should do with the data?
Yeah, we're starting that process, right? I mean, we're not really getting into the business of, this is what the numbers are telling you, so take this action. We're not so interested in that as we are like, what's the most effective thing to track in your business? And what we're seeing our most successful customers track is all around the customer acquisition process, right? With, in the B2B world, it's, starting with ad spend, leads generated, sales opportunities, and the conversion rates and deals closed that ultimately trickle down to revenue and sales generated. So it's that whole funnel, and being able to visualize that in real time to drive behavior and growth in the company.
If Brian Halligan calls you tomorrow and offers you 6x ARR for the company, so call it 60 million, do you sell?
No way.
Look at he almost said it with a completely straight face, and then it broke out the smile at the end. No, I'm kidding, Rob. I tell you, there's something in the slopes out there where you're at. I talked to Ryan at Qualtrics. I mean, there are so many companies out there that are killing it. Obviously, the conference is coming up at the end of this week, and it looks like it's growing every year. So I'm rooting for you, man. But let's wrap up here with the famous. Thanks, You bet. Yeah, let's wrap up here with the famous 5. First one here. What is your favorite business book?
Oh, sheesh. This is a hard one. I have to go off the one that I just finished, which is Extreme Ownership, and I've loved it.
Jocko, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Number 2, is there a CEO you're following or studying, someone that's not mainstream?
I love Ryan. He and I chat on occasion.
You're talking about Qualtrics, Ryan, right?
Ryan Smith at Qualtrics, yeah. And he's doing great things for the community and what he's building. I'm a big fan of Jeremy Andrus, CEO of Traeger. He's a consumer products guy, but knows branding, knows how to scale a business. And he's on our board. He's fantastic.
Number 3, besides your own, what's your favorite online tool for building your company?
Oh, I don't know how we'd survive without Salesforce. Yeah. Everything we do is piped into Salesforce. And because of that, I can slice and dice. I can answer any question. It's amazing. All
right. Last few here. How many hours of sleep are you getting every night?
I try and get 7.5.
Pretty good. And what's your situation? Go ahead.
Yeah. That's important to me. Yeah. The situation, I've got 5 kids.
5 kids. Holy
5 kids. Yeah.
Now, are they old enough to be free employees or free labor or no?
They think my office is this fantasy land of, electric scooters and snacks and a fully stocked fridge and all that stuff. So anytime they come to the office, they enjoy it.
They're watching too much Silicon Valley on HBO, huh? All right. 5 kids. And Rob, how old are you?
I'm 38.
All right. Last question. Take us back 18 years to your 20-year-old self. What do you wish he knew?
I think I wish I would have had more confidence in those gut choices and those gut decisions, that just plow forward and trust the gut.
There you guys have it from Rob. He would have trusted his gut more earlier on. He really trusted his gut in 2014 when he jumped full bore into Grow. Since then, they've grown very rapidly. They serve over 1,300 customers that are paying on average $675 a month or $8,100 a year for about $870,000 in monthly recurring revenue. They are getting ready to pass or have just passed $10 million in ARR, 2% logo churn monthly, healthy economics in terms of $4,000 on CAC. So they get paid back in under 7 months, which is great. Scaling up paid spend, and they found some channels that work, so they're raising more capital, well north of 13 million. Look out for that announcement. But Rob, you've doubled year over year from 4 million in ARR just a year ago to over 10 million today. Congrats on the growth, and thank you for taking us to the top.
Thanks, David.